Hello, everybody. Welcome, and I'm so glad to have with me today on the set good friend, Mr. Buddy Adams, the Commissioner for District 3. The last time I interviewed you, I started off, we had to do a retake because I said Chairman of the County Commission, which you aren't this year, but you was last year, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Tell me, and we'll get into, most people know Mr. Buddy Adams, lifelong resident, graduate of Dublin High School 1960, and one of the first things we did together before we get into the meat of things, we did a tribute to all the state championship teams. You and I spent one night out there in the middle of Shamrock Bowl, and even though it wasn't where y'all played at, that state championship team, that's where we filmed the show, wasn't it?
That's correct and everything. And you did a great job, and it brought back a lot of memories of the first state championship team that Dublin ever had, and I was honored to be a member of that team with some other great guys. Some of them are deceased now, but we had a great time, and we won the state, and that was the first time that Dublin ever won the state. So.
And I know when our governor now came down originally, we were all out there, and he played for that Sandersville team, and we beat them, didn't we?
That's right.
He didn't like that.
No, he did not. And I reminded him of that he was here, and I've reminded him several times. He played for Sandersville at the time, and we beat them 6-0, and they ranked the #1 team in the state in Class A at the time. And so we went on and won the state, and I just wanted him to remember that. He got elected as governor.
That's right.
So. But he's a great guy, and I know him personally, and so we get along great.
And the reason I wanted to mention that to segue into one of those players on that Dublin Irish team was our good friend Tal Fuquay, which was the county commissioner in that district that you represent now, and you took it after he passed away. But that was 4 years ago, Mr. Buddy. 4 years fast forward now. You still want to be county commissioner, and you still want to serve in that seat that Tal had.
That's correct. Tal was actually my backup man on the football team after that, and we were good friends, and we stayed good friends until he died. But I decided that I was going to run for county commissioner. After serving on the city council before and some other boards around, and my family had grown and gone their separate ways, and so I had some time, and I was retired, so I got back into politics, and I've really enjoyed working for the people. As a public service for them.
And you're in the District 3, Mr. Buddy Adams, and right after this interview you'll see Ben Baker. He's running for District 3. This is a Republican seat right here. The election is July 31st. Mr. Buddy, why, and you know we've got a lot of new people here. We talked about we grew up here.
Right.
But a lot of new people here in Dublin. Why should they vote for you in District 3?
Well, to start with, I got the experience. I've been there for going on 4 years now. I served on the city council. I'm on the planning and zoning board for the city of Dublin now. I served on the recreation board at one time. So I go back a long history of serving the public and this is one reason that I decided to run again. That we got so much going on right now, and the county is doing well. And we probably got the best relationship between the city and the county that we've ever had. And most of the people on the city council will tell you that, and most of the commissioners will tell you that. And I attend the meetings with other commissioners in other districts, and they always ask me, says, how in the world did y'all get along so good? I said, we might disagree, but when we come out of that meeting, we all still friends, and we all want to make sure that Dublin-Lawrence County is well represented for the things that we need to accomplish for the people and serve them.
Right. You're the incumbent, so I have the advantage of asking you questions. You can't ask somebody actually running because you're in office, but the Development Authority, they've been so important to us. We've got some new jobs lately. Cal Ray doing a wonderful job. I think we can all agree on that, no matter which side of the fence you're on. But it seems like I see you at every meeting I go to of the Development Authority. Is that something important to you? Have you missed a meeting since you've been in office? I'm just curious.
Probably maybe one thing that I couldn't get to, but I attend every Development Authority meeting because I want to know what's going on and let the other commissioners know too, because all of them don't attend. And it's important that for the job situation in this county, we fund a lot of the development in the county and everything through the funds that we get and the SPLOST thing. We're the only county that I know of that passed on the SPLOST a $15 million economic development fund. And that has made us really accomplish some things that we couldn't accomplish otherwise. And the state is working with us more closely because they see what we're doing to bring economic development to our county and bring jobs here. We've brought 3 major companies here, and we have helped some local companies grow and everything. High Tech Ration is one of them.
Right.
And that is my main concern, is bringing jobs to this community because that's the lifeline. Also, I work pretty close with the downtown development and Main Street to bring jobs down there, because that's the hub of our business district and everything, and that's where a lot of our sales tax is collected. So working with the city of Dublin through their means and through the county's means with the commissioners and everything, we all on board with that, and we are doing a great job on downtown.
Okay, you mentioned, or I mentioned earlier, the governor, the relationship there. How's your relationship with other members on the state level, Representative Hatchett, Senator Tollison, Secretary of State Brian Kemp, people like that? What kind of relationship you got there?
Been a lifetime Republican and serving as the chairman of the Republican Party here for several years, and going to all the state meetings and stuff like that. And I've got to know all these folks real well. Brian Kemp's a personal friend of mine, and I can call him. Mike Beatty with community development. I know him real well. Matt and I get along great. I think Matt's doing a great job. And Senator Tollison and myself goes back a long time. When he first come to the county, when he picked it up and everything, he was riding down Bellevue, and I owned a house on Bellevue. It was a Republican headquarters. And he said, I cannot believe that there are Republican headquarters in Dublin, Georgia. And everything.
Well, that's a new story for us.
Yeah. So I know them real well, know most of the state people, and we get along real well.
Good. And before we go, we've talked about all these. Like I said, we've got an incumbent up here, so we can ask you a lot of questions since you're in there. But we ain't talked about your beautiful wife and your family. Tell everybody about your family.
Well, I'm married to Margie Wade from up at Cary, Georgia, a little community up there on 112. She's a retired school teacher from the Dublin City School System. She is really the one that's helped me the most and everything. She goes with me every day.
Yeah. I always see her with you.
Yeah. And 17 years ago, I had a liver transplant. And probably I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her and Dr. O.B. Johnson. And so God has been good to me. He's important in my life. And he's important in whatever I do. And I hope he looks down at me and say, you know, that you have served me well. I go to First Baptist Church. I'm on several committees there. And my wife is on committees there too. And she's in the garden club. And I have tried for years to get something done on the courthouse square with our war memorials down there. So I taught her and Nancy Stinson to take the project on, and I helped them and everything. If you go down there today, it is a completely different picture than what it was. Those 2 monuments sitting there, you don't realize that they're there and stuff like that. Yeah. But we put up 2 new flags. They did the brickwork around it. They planted flowers.
Day we dedicated it, yeah.
The day we dedicated that. That is really my passion, as I'm veterans and everything. I do a lot of volunteering work at the VA, and the commissioners agreed to do the north end of the bypass after Lieutenant Colonel Stinson, which was done last year. He was the highest ranking officer killed in Vietnam on the ground, and he was a Dublinite.
That was a great service at First Baptist.
Yes, it was. July the 7th, put it on your calendar, we're doing the south end of the bypass after Kelso Horn. Kelso-Horn was raised out on 80 West, right past the bypass out there. He was the oldest paratrooper to jump the night before into Normandy. And so the commissioners agreed to name that after him, and it will be at the Bethsaida Church on July the 7th at 2 o'clock. So our service people that's fought for us and died for us is really a passion of mine.
Yep.
And I think you see me at all the
Memorial
Days and stuff like that.
You and Miss Louise Purvis, I know, and Miss Harriet Claxton.
Yeah.
I know the three of y'all will be there if nobody else shows up.
Miss Purvis is a great person. Her son, she's the only gold star mother we have in the community. I collect World War I and World War II stuff, as you've seen.
Right.
And she gave me his uniform. He had it specially made to be buried in, and he did not get buried in it because he was killed in Vietnam. And I got his in my collection.
Wow.
And it's one of those things that's close to my heart. But I also deliver Meal on Wheels. And I'm on the Boys and Girls Director on the New Joy Clinic at the Baptist Association with the dental and
I was out there last week, Dr. Schumann, doing a great job, Pilar.
Yep. And I'm on that committee, everything on that. And I'm on the committee to bring in the Vietnam Wall next Memorial Day. We'll be at the VA hospital for
I know
a week.
Johnny's working hard on that, too.
Yeah, we had a meeting last night on that and everything. But the VA is special to me. My dad helped build that, and my mother retired from out there. So I go a long ways back with our veterans and everything. But I also have two daughters. One lives here and one lives in Texas. And 4 grandchildren. Had one just to graduate from Colorado School of Mine, and he played football out there for 4 years.
Wow.
Little old guy, 6'5", weighs 300 pounds. But my family's from here. My dad was the fire chief of Dublin for a long time. But Dublin's important to me. I could have lived anywhere I wanted to, but in 1968, after I graduated from Georgia and worked in North Georgia, I decided to come back to Dublin. I've owned 3 businesses, and they've been prosperous and everything, and I've sold them. So I've been on both sides of the thing. I've paid taxes for business and run businesses and then served people and everything. So I'm a servant and everything. I'm a public servant. I'm not a politician.
Right.
And everything. But I want to thank Channel 35 for doing this. And
well, I appreciate you being here today. Last thing, we'll put it on the screen. Anybody want to talk to you, Mr. Buddy, how can they get in touch with you?
They can call me on my cell, 478-609-2978.
Okay.
Or either call my home, 478-275-2048.
Okay. Numbers right there on the screen. The only thing he didn't mention about his wife is how beautiful she keeps them yards. Now,
Yes.
I know she does all that.
She does.
all that work in the yard, don't she?
Well, she's a master gardener, and I want her to practice.
Thank you, Mr. Buddy, and thank you all for joining us today.